This picture can be found in your public domain folder. And what we're going to look at is maybe ramping the color up a little bit. And there's several ways to do that and make colors pop. Okay. Now keep in mind when you go to print something, print already makes the colors a little dull to begin with. So our mission is to make everything very contrasty and very bright just for that print. And it might get a different look to your photos, a more HD look to your photos. HD is like a high definition look to it. So first off, we're going to look at vibrance. And let's first duplicate this layer. That way I don't mess up the original. So now we'll go back to vibrance. Okay, so vibrance, if I just wanted everything saturated, I can rank saturation up. And now I start getting this yellow appeal on it, which is kind of funny because it looks like, I don't know, the buffalo went diving into a pollen field and now has pollen all over him. I love the look of this, however, because it is just so bright and vivid and different, because I'm so sick of just the same old. So vibrance is a great way to play around with color. You have the difference between vibrance and saturation. So if you want to get something halfway between realistic and unrealistic, you can go vibrance all the way, and then you can kind of tone it down with the saturation levels. So here's with it off, here's with it on. Okay, such a great difference. What I'm going to do here, however, is I'm going to make it unimaginative and go like way high, and I get these purples and stuff in here. That's just so fun. And then I'm going to turn it off and go back and copy this one again. So here's my dull version again. And we're going to look at another way to do this. So we're going to go image, adjustments, and we can go into something like color balance. And color balance just allows me to kind of look at the picture and say, well, maybe I want more reds, or maybe I want the reds to pop out of it. Maybe I want the greens to pop out of it. And you have such great control over this because you can choose on the shadow side, the midtones, or the highlights. So if I just want, let's say, all the shadows in this area right here to be more red, I could do that. So I can add a tint of red. Why I would do this is, let's say the lighting, you want the lighting of the photos to look a little bit more warm. You can do that by adjusting the shadow area. Let's say I want it to look cool. Okay, well, I would add some blues to the shadow area. If you go the opposite spectrum and you choose highlights, you get this really, really cold effect with the blue. But if you mix it up with both the shadows and the highlights, it starts getting into an unbelievable situation. So mostly we use color balance to kind of tweak out lighting within a scene. Cancel that. You can go hue saturation, which hue allows me to change the overall color, not just tweak it, but the overall color within a photo. So now I get this cool purple effect on it. And again, with this comes the color. With this becomes the choke for the color. So I can choose to tone it down or make it richer or make it more vibrant as I go. I'm going to leave it about right there and hit OK. Again, I'm going to go back to my background layer, and then I'm going to go back up to the top where I have this. Now what I'm going to do is take and maybe sharpen this image a little bit. So to do that, what I usually do is zoom way in on it before I go sharpening. And I'll choose an area which is kind of fuzzy, and I'll go filter, sharpen, and then smart sharpen. And you can see the difference here. Didn't sharpen and unsharpen, but I'm getting this film grain here, which is not bad. I can live with the film grain, and certainly I get more grain as I go up higher in radius. I get this really sharp look to it. I'm going to hit OK to this. So I got this super contrasty type of look, and I got all these other colors out here. So what I want to do is kind of instill within you to use your imagination when you're doing Photoshop work. Don't settle for just the age-old boring photo, but you know, you can certainly use different attributes within here to kind of tweak out your photos. Because right here, if I use lighten, or I use a soft light, or if I use hard light, I get this whole different look to, you know, the photo that I never had before. And I just employ that you use some of these techniques on your stuff. Like lighten works good because it keeps all the sharpness, and it keeps a medium of the color below. Now if I choose to use the other one, so here is the psychedelic version, but here if I add this to the top part, I get this HD look. Okay, so here's what it did look before. Let me just unlock this and put it at the very top. Here's the untouched photo. Here is the brightened photo. Such a difference, right? And that's all spawning from just having this one very tweaked out and having this one on lighten. Now you can stack these also. Let's say I use the lighten layer to interfere with another one and then go to another one. Okay, so here I can maybe use linear dodge or lighten color or soft light. Okay, now I'm getting another kind of HD look. Again, this is with it off and this is with it on. I guarantee this will print miraculously because of the fact that it's so sharp and so contrasty. So that is ramping color and how to get a different look for photographs. Please move on to the next video.